as you can see outside, the weather is not looking very good today. It is another stormy day here in the UK. Across the UK we are having all sorts of awful weather, and I would imagine also across Europe as well, as the storms move across. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you are having a good day. Here we are again, yes. Even though the clouds are grey and it's all wet and miserable, here in the studio it's lovely and warm. Here we go again, yes, it's English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be England. Are we on? Are we on? Testing. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Are you feeling happy despite all the negative news that is flying around at the moment? And over the past hour we have had some breaking news here in the UK. I don't know if you've heard what that news is, but we have some breaking news also here in the UK. Lots of things happening around the world. Despite that, in spite of all the depressing news, I am feeling pretty happy, and I hope you are feeling good as well. Here we are back together. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Duncan. I talk about the English language. You might say that I am one of those. I am an English addict, and I have a feeling that you might be an English addict as well. We are with you for the next 2 hours. When I say we, I also mean myself and Mr. Steve. So it's me for now, but coming up a little bit later on, we also have the musical talents of Mr. Steve. He will be with us in around about 20 minutes. Is that a good idea? Mr. Steve, Mr. Steve, you're not exactly playing the piano there, are you?
But this is how you practice. You don't practice with the keys, you practice with the lid down.
I don't think that's true.
Yes, it's true. Yes, you see, with the lid up, well, I prefer to practice with the lid down.
That's not the only thing Mr. Steve does with the lid down, dare I say. So yes, we do have Mr. Steve with us a little bit later on. By the way, if you are wondering why there is no background, it is there. Unfortunately, at the moment we have a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of storms battering the UK. Did you see my special live stream that I did on Friday? I did it live as one of the many storms that are currently flying across Europe, and it would appear that we get them first. So whatever Europe gets, quite often the UK will get that storm first. So we always get it first. And as you can see outside, it's not looking very good today. We have a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and also another storm heading our way. So last week we had two storms. We had Storm Dudley and then we had Storm Eunice. But apparently there is another storm on the way. Another one. So hold on to your trees and your rooftops and your chimney stacks and anything else that is loose and wobbly, because there is another storm coming. I hope you are okay where you are in the world. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of another weekend and also the end of another week without blowing ourselves up. Almost. Yes, it's Sunday. By the way, if you want live captions, you can. There are captions on this live stream. It's true. Would I lie to you about that? Would I lie about that? Of course not. So if you want to follow my live chat with captions, you can. You are more than welcome to do so. All you have to do is press the subtitle button, or you can press C on your keyboard, like that, and then you will have live captions as well. Here we go then. Nice to see you all here. I wonder who was first on today's live chat. Oh, the champion is back. Once more, his finger is the fastest finger on the internet. Vitas, congratulations once again. You are first on today's live chat. So even though the weather is not good today here in the UK, even though the weather is quite awful, to be honest, I will try to keep a smile on my face, and hopefully we will be able to give you a little bit of information about that very strange thing we call the English language. A lot of people say, Mr. Duncan, why is English so difficult to learn? Well, it's very strange because some people find English much easier to learn. I think it depends on what your base language is. For example, if you are French and you are learning English, I think that it will be easier to learn English because many words in English derive or are very similar to words that exist in French. And I think that's probably the reason why when I was at school I found it very easy. I found it quite easy to learn French. I was quite good at French at school. Please don't ask me to speak French now because most of it has evaporated from my brain cells, unfortunately. So hello to the live chat. I will say hello to you right now. Hello also Tomek. We have Beatrice, Palmyra, Vittoria, Claudia. Hello, Claudia. By the way, can I say thank you? I suppose I don't have to say thank you, but I will say thank you for giving me a big smile yesterday. You might not even realise that you did it, but you gave me a big smile with your photograph that you took in your surgery. Because Claudia is a dentist, and I love the photograph that you posted on your Facebook page where you are wearing your mask and also your big protective visor as well. You look ready for some dentistry action. That's all I can say. But thank you very much. I don't know why. You gave me a smile, and I suppose I should also say thank you very much for continuing to do your work during all of these crazy, difficult circumstances. Lots of people have had to continue with their job. They've had to carry on. They've had no choice, especially people working in the service industry, or maybe the medical industry, or maybe in medicine, if you are a doctor or a nurse, perhaps a dentist. Maybe you have to look after people who are at home and are ill. So can I say thank you very much? I suppose these days we don't say it often enough. But I always appreciate the hard work that a lot of people are doing and have been doing over the past difficult 2 years. So we really do appreciate it. And I do like to say thank you for that from time to time. Hello also, we have Zudzika, we have Nellie. Hello Nellie, nice to see you here as well. Willian is here. Hello, Willian. It seems like a very long time since I last saw you here. Hello, Willian. Nice to see you back on the live chat. Very nice to see you here today. Of course, during the week we had Mr. Steve's birthday. Steve will be talking about his birthday. He will talk about what he got and what he didn't get for his birthday. So as I mentioned, yes, we had a big storm last week, and besides doing a live stream, I was also very busy with my camera filming the dramatic events outside my window. So there they are, the rather dramatic scenes that were outside my window during the week as Storm Eunice came across this country and then headed towards Europe, where it caused a lot of problems with not only wind but also rain in parts of Germany. There was a lot of serious flooding. I don't know why, but we didn't seem to have any flooding in this country. However, a lot of trees, many buildings were damaged by the strong winds. And in fact, on Friday, we had the strongest wind ever in the south of England, 122 miles an hour. Apparently, it is the strongest wind that we've ever had here in the UK. Ever in recorded history. Although I suppose I should also mention Mr. Steve's wind sometimes goes even faster than that. A very high speed. Hello to Max Poe. Hello Max. I haven't seen you here for a long time. It seems like a very long time since I saw you here. We had a very strange moment on Mr. Steve's birthday. We decided to go out on Steve's birthday, and we were going to go for a lovely walk. In fact, I don't have to explain the story to you because I have a video right here that will do the job for me. Happy birthday to Mr. Steve. Here we are. Now, our intention today was to come out and have a lovely meal and also a walk in a place called Church Stretton. By the way, Mr. Steve, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
Yes. But unfortunately, if we look outside, as you can see,
And you can probably hear.
yeah, it's raining. So unfortunately, we will not be going for a walk.
Unfortunately not.
Now, the strange thing is, when we were in Much Wenlock, the weather was much nicer, and as we got closer and closer to Church Stretton, the weather got worse, and now the rain is really coming down quite heavily.
I know. We were going to go for a lovely walk. Where's the camera, Mr. Duncan? Is it on the left or the right? Oh, good. Yes, so unfortunately we've just phoned up a little cafe and they can accommodate us at short notice. So we've booked in there, but we've got to go in 10 minutes, Mr. Duncan, which means we're going to get wet. Although I have got an umbrella in the back of the car.
See, one of the times where we need Mr. Steve's rain poncho, and guess what? We haven't got it. We haven't got Mr. Steve's rain poncho. So instead, we're going to have to brave the violent storm so we can get something to eat. But we will enjoy the rest of Mr. Steve's birthday. And of course, Steve did get some very nice presents as well from myself. And
I deserve it.
And also your family sent some lovely presents. Anyway.
We'll show you those on Sunday.
Yes, we will show you the gifts that Mr. Steve got.
Or today, assuming you're showing this
Okay.
on Sunday.
Well, we're not live now.
Oh, I thought we were live, Mr. Duncan.
No, we're not live. No, this is recorded. So we will hand you back live to the studio and we will continue with today's live stream. Meanwhile, here, we will carry on with Mr. Steve's birthday. A very wet and soggy birthday.
But we're staying happy, no matter what.
Of course, we're always happy. Ta-ta for now. There Mr. Steve was, and there we were last Wednesday celebrating Mr. Steve's birthday, although things didn't turn out quite as they should have. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out quite the way we intended. We were going to go for a lovely walk, we were going to make a funny video, but sadly, because of the rain, and it's been raining all week, it's raining now. I was going to say that it's raining cats and dogs, but to be honest with you, that is the only thing that isn't falling out of the sky. Everything else is coming out of the sky, except cats and dogs. Mr. Steve will be with us. Yes, he is preparing. He's going to show us his birthday cards. Very nice. Also, he's going to share with us some of his lovely moments from his birthday, and I hope you will join us when Mr. Steve arrives. We are taking a break in a moment. We are talking about mouth idioms today. If there is one thing I like doing, and also I suppose Mr. Steve likes doing it as well, it's using his mouth. Talking all the time. So Mr. Steve likes using his mouth. I like using mine. And I have a feeling you like to use yours to speak your own language, but also to practice your oral English. And that's what we're talking about today. Oh, by the way, yesterday we went for a lovely walk into town. We managed to walk into town yesterday without getting wet because, well, in the morning it was raining yesterday, but in the afternoon we managed to have a lovely walk into town. And on the way back we saw our little friend, the robin. But not just one robin, there were actually two together. We will be looking at that a little bit later on. So just before Mr. Steve arrives, it is time to take a look at one of my full English lessons. Yes, I talk about the English language all the time. Sometimes I do it live and sometimes I do it recorded, like the thing you are about to see. And then after that, Mr. Steve will be here, and so will I, and hopefully, so will you. As you can see right now, it is very windy here. There is a gale blowing across England. What you are seeing now is the effect of what is left of a tropical hurricane. This is all that remains of the storm. We can describe this as the remnants, or all that remains of the hurricane. A few days ago, this storm was very powerful. It caused damage in places such as Bermuda. Now it is not as powerful. Having said that, the storm is still strong enough to bring down trees and loosen one or two roof tiles. Some might say that I'm taking a risk coming out here on such a stormy day. Let's hope that I don't get struck by a piece of flying debris or a falling tree. Oh no, my watch has stopped again. I had better wind it up. The word wind has more than one meaning. You can wind something up by turning and tightening it at the same time, such as the spring on a watch or clock. You wind the spring up. To gather something onto a round spool by turning it can be described as winding. You wind something on to something else. You can wind a hose pipe. You can wind wool into a ball. You can wind a person up. In this sense, you are doing something to annoy them. Then there is wind up. This noun describes a practical joke or prank designed to annoy someone. Another verbal use of wind is slowly end something. To close down a company or cease trading over a period of time is to wind up. To relax yourself by doing something pleasurable is to wind down. The past tense of wind is wound. Look at that, the writing on the wall. This figurative expression is used to state that something bad might happen soon. The fate of something is likely to happen. It is very apparent that this thing could occur. There is an indication that things could go wrong. The fall in profits is the writing on the wall for that company. In this sentence, we are saying that the company will go out of business if things do not get better. It may close. There is a chance that things might go wrong. It may be seen as foolish when told by all to ignore the hint and warning of the writing on the wall. Grammar covers many aspects of language use, including punctuation. When expressing yourself in writing, it is important to know where to punctuate and when to use the symbols that define it. One of the most confusing punctuation marks must be the inverted commas, otherwise known as quotation marks. There are two types of inverted comma, the single and the double. In British English, the single quotation mark is often used, while in American English, the double quotation mark is preferred. When quoting a well-known phrase or direct speech in a sentence in British English, we will normally use the single quotation. However, if the direct speech also includes a quote, then you will use the other quotation marks to define it from what is being said. If the direct speech uses single quotes, then the double ones will be used to show the quotes within. An example in British English would be, around here we always use the phrase "no pain, no gain" as our motto. You will see that the direct speech has single quotes and the phrase discussed has double ones. In American English, this is reversed. You will notice in my subtitles that I use single inverted commas when I'm highlighting a word and double quotes when demonstrating direct speech. It is worth noting that you are free to use either of the quotation marks, as long as you stick with them all the way through the piece you are writing. The examples used here today are only a guide. Double quotes are fine for direct speech, or single ones, as long as you remain clear as to how they are being used. Happy writing, everyone! Here are my lovely walking boots. Do you like them? These boots have taken me all over the place, up hills and down into valleys, through woods and over dales and dells. By the way, a dell is a small dip in the ground, a small valley or hollow. Did you know that the word boot has many meanings? As a verb, boot means to kick something hard. It can also mean to throw someone out of a place or eject a person from a group. He was booted out of the chess club. If you put the boot in, then this means that you are kicking someone, normally while they are on the ground. To be given the boot means that you have lost your job. In computer terms, the word boot means to start up a computer. On a car, the boot is the opening at the back where items can be placed securely. In American English, the boot of a car is called the trunk. There it was, one of my many full English lessons. Completely full of lessons to do with the English language. Okay, here he comes. Everyone's been waiting for him. He is on his way. Are you ready?
I'm not ready, Mr. Duncan. I haven't put my makeup on.
Oh, you look okay.
Hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello, lovely viewers.
By the way, we've had to change the view, so we've pointed the camera somewhere else because the rain is coming down very heavily and
white out, I was going to say.
White out.
It's so torrential, the rain,
yes,
that your camera can't focus in the distance.
No, it's just, there's nothing to film there. There's nothing there because it's just rain falling. It looks like mist if you film over a long distance. All of the rain that you're filming through becomes just one big misty scene. So there is a different view for today. It's the trees behind us looking out the window, blowing around just to show how windy it is. We've had a lot of wind, not only last week, but also today in the studio.
That's because we've had too much fibre in our diets.
We had our chili last night, chili con carne, and all I can say is it's very good for loosening your...
Anyway, lots of people have been commenting on the weather, on your video that you put... when did you put that out? Was it Wednesday?
Well, I was live on Friday.
Friday.
Was
because you were live during the peak of the storm.
Yes, Storm Eunice.
When we had 60-mile-an-hour winds here.
Well, I think it was more than that here.
Well, it was high.
Yes.
It was high.
Yes, they apparently in parts of Shropshire they had recorded 70 miles an hour wind.
Right.
I read it, and the fastest wind, the strongest wind, besides Mr. Steve's stomach, was actually 122 miles an hour on the south coast of England. Talking of last week,
yes.
Steve.
Well, can I just finish off what I was going to say? Lots of people have been commenting about the weather.
Oh, okay.
Because it hasn't just affected us. And of course, in the UK, because we get such mild weather generally, we don't really, anything is an event to us. But we don't get hurricanes and we don't get tornadoes. In fact, somebody commented the other day that the reason that Great Britain was and lots of parts of Europe were so successful was because we didn't have major weather events preventing us from becoming successful as a nation. So that could well have been a point. But, for example, Max was commenting on the aeroplane landings, the attempted aeroplane landings at Heathrow Airport, which are all over the internet. Very scary if you're in a plane like that, and there were shots of people afterwards who had vomited everywhere because the plane was rocking. And we've been in flights, and I've been in flights when there's nothing worse than you're coming into land and it's windy.
Yes.
And Birmingham's a very windy airport, and we've been coming back from holiday. In fact, weren't we coming back from Paris?
We were returning from Paris, and the wind was strong. Of course, as Steve just said, Birmingham Airport is well known for its crosswinds. So when a plane comes into land, what often happens is the plane will start to tip as the wings get caught by the wind. So it's very hard for a plane to actually land on the ground because it has to make sure that it lands straight or level. It has to make sure that the wings don't touch the runway for obvious reasons, because it won't end very well. So we have been in that situation, but it's amazing how many people love watching live streams of planes landing.
Well, it's fascinating.
Yes.
But if you've ever been in a plane, when it's windy, it's all right when you're taking off, it's not so bad, but when you're landing, it's quite scary. Other weather events, Tomek mentioned that his entrance door to his apartment blew away,
Yes.
or the skylight or the door or the skylight blew away in the wind, but he was able to repair it, retrieve it and repair it.
Wow.
So that's very lucky. We've got a fence panel that's come down.
Yeah, we've been affected.
Yes.
One of our fences.
So we're going to do a fundraiser to raise money to repair the fence. No, I'm only joking. So I'm going to try and cobble it together. So I'm going to try and get the broken bits of wood and sort of fix them in a sort of random way to make it look. If you cobble something together, it means you're not doing a very good job of repairing something.
That's a bit of an insult to all people who repair shoes.
Well, for example, if you were to come on late.
What about cobblers?
Well, that's a different thing altogether. But it might be related. But if you do something in a rush and it's not very good, it means you cobble it together.
Yes.
It means you're just sort of you're just not doing a good job.
No.
For example, if we were to come on this show and not prepare at all and barely give you any information with English, you could say that, it looks like those two have cobbled this lesson together.
I thought that's what we did do.
I'm only joking. But yes, it's been, it's continued one storm after another.
Well,
we've got another one coming, haven't we, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, I was about to mention that. We had 2 storms last week, 2 big storms, and guess what? We have another one coming now. Storm Franklin, apparently.
Franklin.
So we've had Dudley, we've had Eunice, as we go through the alphabet, you see. So now we have Storm Franklin. And I suppose Franklin is a man's name. Well, of course, there was the President of the United States, Franklin Roosevelt, who was the President of the United States for a while. Storm Franklin to bring strong wind and rain to the UK and Ireland. So the Meteorological Office have issued weather warnings as a third storm is expected to bring disrupting conditions on Sunday and Monday.
Well, we've got it.
So I have a feeling what is happening behind us now is actually Storm Franklin arriving.
Paolo is going to stay. He has repeated several times, thank you, that despite the storm, he's going to stay and watch anyway.
Oh, good.
So that's good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, we're very pleased that you're going to stay. People are wishing me thank you for the comments on my youthful appearance.
Yes.
And my nice shirt. Thank you.
Steve had a birthday.
I did.
Last Wednesday.
Thank you, Beatrice. And other people have said that happy birthday again. So thank you for that. Sandra as well. But yeah, it's nice. It was a nice birthday. It was wet. The weather was not good.
No.
But we made the most of it. Despite the bad weather, we made the most of it.
I did show the video earlier of us sitting in the car because we couldn't go for a walk. By the way, we have some breaking news, everyone. Have you heard the news?
What's that?
The Queen has COVID.
Yes.
The Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, has been tested positive for COVID. I have a feeling that she's been positive for quite a while. It's just that no one quite knew how to break the news. So I think she's been with COVID, or she's had COVID for a while, but no one's wanted to actually mention it. They've been a little reluctant to actually say it. But the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, who is the current Queen, even though at the moment everyone keeps talking about Prince Charles and Camilla, as if they are about to take over, which can't be very nice for the Queen when you think about it.
And Jimmy says, God save the Queen.
God save.
Probably referring to this news. I wanted to say as well that other people have also wished me happy birthday. Lewis did as well.
It's always it's always about you. We're talking about the Queen of England. And all Steve wants to talk about is his birthday.
Well, I just don't want to forget people that have said happy birthday to me.
So that is the big news at the moment. The Queen of England has COVID, but as the reports are actually stating, she is just suffering mild cold symptoms. So we wish the Queen of England and everyone at the moment struggling with that particular situation all the best.
You are very well conserved, says Pedro.
Oh.
Do Do you mean that I'm looking good? Is what you mean? I think.
Shouldn't that be well preserved? Preserved. I remember years ago. Who remembers? Do you remember, Steve, when they dug that man, who apparently was supposed to be prehistoric or from the very early days of mankind? I think he was supposed to be one of the early incarnations of human life. Piltdown man.
Oh yes.
Well, Mr. Steve is the real Piltdown man.
That was a hoax.
Yes, it was. Well, I'm just saying you are the real one, because it looks as if Mr. Steve has been preserved in a bog. Not the toilet. I mean some land that if you get stuck in the bog, not the toilet, but the ground, then over time you will actually be preserved. So Mr. Steve looks as if he's just been dug up.
Or conserved, according to Pedro. If you conserve something, it means you save it, don't you?
I think
look after it.
I think with you
So-
it's definitely preserved.
You look after it,
Yes.
and you look at it and you think, how can I restore that back to how it used to look? So yes, maybe my hair will come back with a bit of luck.
Yes.
Still waiting for that miracle of modern science, which still hasn't happened. I can't believe after all these years they still haven't worked out. Some simple cream that you rub on and bingo, your hair comes back. But anyway, I got over that in my early 20s.
This is great.
It's all about me, Mr. Duncan. It's all about me. That's not really.
So Mr. Steve's birthday occurred. Did you get some nice cards?
I did get some nice cards.
Would you like to show us some of your cards that you received for your birthday?
Have you got a special camera?
No?
No? Okay then. Right, here we go.
We'll just use this one.
Look at that wind out there, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
Don't move it forwards because it will go out of focus.
There we go.
There we go.
So there's a nice card. There's somebody that knows me. That's from the choir. And she knows that I like gardening. And thus there is a picture there of a watering can. Oh, Mr. Duncan, I'm going to sneeze. A watering can. I'm pinching my nose because that's supposed to stop you sneezing.
Okay, good.
I can't see what. Oh yes, we've got gloves. We've got a trowel.
Yes.
And we've got some garden twine on a roll there. Garden twine or string.
You are describing this so clearly.
Well, there we go. Here's a nice one. Shall we show that one?
Yes.
Here's a nice one from some friends that we went to see. And she, I'm struggling too because it's all back to front.
So just hold it like that.
I
There
know,
you
but it's like looking yourself in a mirror and trying to trim your nasal hairs.
You've been doing this for 4 years, the live stream. You should know by now. So this is us in the middle. There's Mr. Steve and there's myself. I have this habit. When you might not realise this, if we are in a social situation and we are having a photograph taken, I will always pull a stupid face, always. So in that picture, you can't quite see it clearly, but I am actually making an ugly face, and it's sort of like this.
And there's Sonia. I hope she doesn't. She won't. She might be watching. But
No.
See, Sonia is a friend of mine
Yes.
from when I was in my late teens when I was at college.
So very quickly, we introduce Sonia. There is Brent. There is Mr. Duncan, and there is Mr. Steve. So we had a little get-together
Yes.
a few weeks ago.
And they are married. Sonia and Brent are married.
Okay.
Married.
We had a lovely time,
Yes.
but as I was saying, I always like to pull a face in a picture. And one of the times that I normally do that, Steve, is when we're in a wedding photograph. Okay.
And Sonia always makes her own cards.
Okay.
We won't show the.
I think Steve wants to
inside.
show more of that. There it is.
No, that's it. Yes. So she took that picture,
Black and white.
black and white. Not sure why. Maybe
because
she's run
pe-
out of colour ink.
No, you always look better. Photographs always look better in black and white. So if you take a picture of someone's face,
I wouldn't agree.
always take it in black and white.
I don't think anyone's using black and white anymore.
People use black and white all the time. What?
Me too.
Okay, then. Have you ever
Maybe
been?
professionally.
Have you ever
Maybe
been to it?
professionally?
Well, you don't need to be professional to make something black and white.
I know, but I don't think people generally doing black and white.
I think this looks really arty.
It does, and it's very nice. Here's another one. Another garden-themed birthday card.
You don't have to lean in, Steve.
You have to keep
it
pulling me around, Mr. Duncan.
No, not if you move forward, that goes out of focus.
Well, you hold it then.
There you go.
You hold it.
That's
Go
it.
on, you hold it.
If you do that, you see, it goes out of focus.
Well, I wasn't doing that, Mr. Duncan. I was just holding it up. I wasn't doing that, was I? You see, you're going to extreme now. I was just holding it up. It's difficult to hold it up because it's like looking in a mirror. What you see on the screen is does the opposite thing with this camera.
Bit like
Anyway, so there's another garden theme. You're annoying me, Mr. Duncan.
I'm not. It's just simple.
That's another garden-themed birthday card. A little bit more arty from my sister. So it's an arty sort of card,
Okay.
as you would expect. And here's one from my mother.
Now this looks like a card that you would buy for a 14-year-old boy. I don't know why. It's got cars on the front.
Well, it's a lovely card.
So I remember when I was about 12, my mother would always buy cards that had like footballers and cars and all these macho.
We're missing all the live chat while we're doing this.
Well, we can't do both.
Yeah, so there we go. There's 3 cars I will never be able to afford to own, probably.
No.
The red one at the top, I think, is supposed to be a Ferrari.
Okay.
Then we've got, I think it's an Aston Martin in the middle, and obviously a Porsche 911 on the bottom.
Fortunately, this particular Porsche is not on fire.
No.
Did
yes.
you read the story this week about there's a ship, a cargo ship full of cars, very expensive cars, and the ship caught fire and all of the cars were destroyed. I would imagine millions of pounds worth of cars were destroyed. So there they are. That is a lovely card from Mr. Steve's mother. There it is inside. Isn't that lovely?
Nearly 4,000 cars were destroyed. They were all bound for America. Porsches, I think they were mainly German cars, Audis and Volkswagens, and there were some Bentleys on there as well.
Okay.
So, there's a shortage of cars, new cars worldwide because of the shortage of microchips. So this is going to compound things even more, make it worse, compound.
So
things are adding up.
I have bad news for you if you are waiting for your Porsche to be delivered or your Bentley. I'm ever so sorry. It's now a smouldering lump of metal in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, there was one particular. I can't remember. Some YouTube star. I don't know his name. He had bought some very expensive vintage Porsche.
Okay.
And that was coming across to America, and that got destroyed as well.
That's a shame.
And they think it's these lithium batteries bursting into flame from these electric cars. There was a ferry burst into flames in Greece as well. And I think there's some missing people from that, or maybe they found the last person. But they're blaming cars again bursting into flame. Here's one from a friend of mine who I've known for about 30 years. And let's just say she thinks I'm an underachiever. And she always sends funny cards, but they're sort of almost bordering on insulting. So here's the card. You hold it up, Mr. Duncan, because obviously I don't know what I'm doing. So this is the card that she decided to send to me. Am I a good person? No. Do I try to make myself a better person each day? Also, no. So that's very sarcastic. It's suggesting that, and that's supposed to be a representation of me sitting on a chair. So what she's saying to me is that you have done very little with your life. And it's supposed to be funny, but in fact I found it a little insulting.
Yeah, I suppose there's a certain amount of accuracy in this card.
I don't think that's accurate because I do try to improve myself every day.
Thank you, Julie, for your card. Yes, you're right.
Yes. So there we go. I'll have that over here, Mr. Duncan. Thank you.
You want it back, do you?
Yes, I do want it back. So just a represent. We're not showing the one that you sent to me, are we?
No. Well, that was.
It's a bit too personal.
Is that it? Are those the only cards you got? Oh, okay.
The words on it would be, we've got to keep some things to ourselves.
It's a bit sad, really.
That is all the cards I've received. Yes.
Still, Mr.
Apart from the thousands of good wishes from the lovely viewers that are watching us today.
Of course, I did get Mr. Steve a gift that he's been needing for some time because our telephone in the house telephone, broke, and it's just awful. Terrible technology. Whoever bought that made a terrible job of buying it. Oh, it was you. So I've bought Mr. Steve a lovely new telephone for his birthday. Isn't that nice? And one of the things I like about this telephone is it's specially designed for people who are over a certain age, who have difficulty looking at numbers and reading them because their eyes are fading. So one of the reasons why I bought this is because it's very good for people who are over a certain age. It's got wonderful big buttons. Look at those, Steve. Look at those big buttons. So we can see those clearly, can't we?
I like big buttons on a phone.
Yes.
And yeah. So you've got one for downstairs, which is it's wired. You can get phones now that are wired or wireless.
Yes.
Most phones are sort of cordless.
Well, this is like the old-fashioned telephone, really.
That's a corded phone. You would call that maybe some people watching under a certain age wouldn't recognise what that was at all.
I think people.
What is that wire coming out of the phone?
I don't think you can still get phones with wires.
I think it's becoming a rarity.
Okay.
So there we go. Mr. Duncan bought me a nice new phone, and the one upstairs in my office is one that is non-corded. That's the word I'm looking for.
I think you mean cordless.
Cordless
or wireless.
That's it. There we go. And it's got it's a nice phone because the other one we had before was pretty useless.
Yeah.
There we go. That's it. That's a nice shot, Mr. Duncan.
So that's what I bought for Mr. Steve for his birthday, a phone with great big numbers on. So when Steve is trying to dial his mother's phone number, his finger will never slip. He will always get through to his mother. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I mean, yes. The thing is, Mr. Duncan, who needs a house phone anymore?
I think.
I wanted to have one, obviously. In fact, I nearly bought one the other week, didn't I, Mr. Duncan? Yes. I didn't know you were going to buy me this for my Christmas birthday present. And in fact, I was asking you. I was on Amazon looking for a new house phone, and you managed to keep your cool throughout it, and then you somehow put me off buying one by suggesting that we didn't actually need one, and then you bought me one. You'd already bought me one.
There's nothing more horrifying than planning to buy a gift for someone, and then you see them on Amazon looking at the very thing that you want to buy for them.
I didn't see that phone.
It was horrifying.
And I nearly bought one, but I didn't.
Yes. Is it hands-free? It is. It has hands-free. It has a little speaker phone, so you can just press one button and talk without having to put that thing to your ear.
But many people now don't have. You see, that's a landline phone.
Yes, I think
so it's connected to the old-fashioned phone line that comes into the house.
The old-fashioned.
Well, but of course these days everyone's got a mobile phone, and a lot of people now don't bother having a landline at all because they're effectively paying for two phones.
Yeah.
But we've decided that we still want to have one because...
Well, we have to because we have the internet.
Yes, but we don't have to have a phone plugged into it.
No.
We wouldn't have to. In fact, I very rarely use that. I mean, that phone probably won't ring for 6 months.
No. which again is very sad.
Because, I talk to everybody on my mobile.
Talking of phones, we had a phone call the other day from one of our friends who lives not far away from where we are, and we haven't heard from him for a long time, and it turns out that he hasn't, and I find this amazing, he hasn't left the house, he hasn't been anywhere. Virtually, he stayed indoors for the past 2 years during lockdown and all of that horribleness. So we were quite surprised, but it was nice to hear from him. He phoned us the other day, so that was a nice surprise.
It was. George, can I slip in here an English sort of suggestion?
Okay.
Or a question from somebody. George Roman. Not sure we've heard from George Roman before. Welcome if it's your first time. Hello, or the first time on the live chat. Hello, Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. I went to California last holiday, and I was trying to order from a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
What phrases would you use? He suggested I would like to order as one suggestion, but if we were in a restaurant, British English speaking person, what would we say?
Well, I think it doesn't matter where you are, first of all. If it's America, the United States, American English, British English, I suppose you could say the same thing, would you say?
Yes.
I would like to order. I would like to order, or you could say I would like. Maybe you have the menu in front of you, so you are looking at the menu and you are choosing the food that you want to eat. You would say, I would like some chips. I would like to order the soup. So you can say the soup, or you can say the full breakfast. If you are lucky enough to go to a restaurant or a cafe that has a full English breakfast, very nice. You can ask for a full English.
But you could say, I'll have the soup.
Yes.
You could just say, I'll have. I'll have the soup, please.
Yes.
I'll have the pasta, please. I'll have the salad, please, or whatever that salad is.
Yes.
Or I would like to order. Or have you got, sometimes they don't have that particular item on the menu. So sometimes you can say, have you got the soup left? Have you got any salad? That sort of thing. But normally I would like to order, or I'll have the whatever it is, please.
Yes.
Or
you might even ask if they have it. Do you have? You might say, do you have any soup today?
yes, if you haven't looked at the menu
That's
at
it.
all,
Yes.
you can just ask questions.
Yes. So you can ask general questions about the menu. Do you have any sandwiches? Do you still have some soup left? So there are many ways actually of asking that question if you are ordering a meal in a restaurant, and you will find that it is the same whether it's British English or American English, wherever you are using your English around the world. It's quite often the way you will ask for a meal.
The live chat is very busy today, Mr. Duncan.
Good.
What is your favourite car, says Sandra? Well, if you're a regular watcher, you would know what that is. It is, of course, the lovely Ford Mustang, which I'm still waiting for somebody to buy for me.
Yes, I don't think anyone's going to do that.
Exactly.
Maybe you could buy one that's been fire damaged on a ferry or a cargo ship.
That's true.
Maybe you could buy one. Maybe you could buy a Porsche. I think over the next few months there are going to be lots of people selling Porsches that are slightly fire damaged. One Porsche for sale, slightly fire damaged.
It's going to put the price of second-hand cars up even further. Second-hand car prices, I think virtually everywhere, are at an all-time high because of the shortage of new cars. And that disaster, you could call it, losing 4,000 vehicles, I think that's quite significant. But must be very good for the manufacturers in Germany because they've presumably already had the money for them, and they're going to make 4,000 new cars, so
Yes.
it's very good for them.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's the end of what I wanted to say about that, Mr. Duncan.
That might be the shortest amount of time that Steve has talked about cars ever.
Well, Dan, Dan says, get a model Mustang and work your way up to the real one. Well,
Yeah.
I've got two, Dan. I've got two because Mr. Duncan last year bought me two model Ford Mustangs for my birthday.
Yes.
And we opened them live, well, at least one of them live, on a live stream on my birthday. So if you look back a year, you can see me opening my model Ford Mustang.
Yes, I gave Mr. Steve an extra gift, and it was another model of a Ford Mustang.
Yes, Christina VI says, when am I going to stop doing smart working? I presume you mean, when am I going to go out and see customers again? Well, I think it won't be too long because we seem to be relaxing all the rules in the UK.
Well, they're all going. You don't. Next week, I think it's next week. You won't even have to quarantine or go into isolation if you've had COVID, or if you think you've had it, or if you think you've got it. So it's very, very interesting how things have really become relaxed here in England.
We've got a microbiologist watching us. Hello, guys. I'm Judes from France. I guess the most important hasn't been discussed. And what are you referring to, please? What would you like us to discuss?
Well, maybe they are referring to the Queen, which we mentioned earlier.
We mentioned the Queen, but there's another big news story, isn't there?
Oh, yes.
That's all everyone's talking about in the UK.
I think we should avoid that because I think everyone's talking about that particular subject, if you get my meaning. A little bit later on, Steve, we've got to change the subject. We really have. A little bit later on, we're talking about mouth words and phrases. We like to use our mouths. Mr. Steve and myself, you will notice our mouths are always moving. We went for a walk yesterday and we came across a little friend that we met. Well, we've actually met this particular friend a few times. But not only that, this particular friend actually had another friend with them. And guess what? I actually filmed that moment of time. Isn't that lovely? And the thing I can't believe is yesterday how close one of the robins allowed me to get. I got really close to it. I have a feeling that particular robin was very comfortable with my presence.
It's very tame, a bit like us. We're very tame.
Yes, we are definitely not wild.
We won't bite if you come near us.
No, well, not hard anyway.
Even Tomek says, what a lovely creature. It's unusual for Tomek to sort of, normally he's making sarcastic comments.
Okay.
But he's actually saying, that lovely robin has gone straight to his heart.
That's nice.
Which is, of course, what birds often do. So, there are feelings there.
I don't know why that robin was so... I don't know why that robin was so friendly and tame.
Well, Laura says, how did you shoot from such a short distance? How did you film it from such a short distance?
I was able to get as close as I am to Steve. So the robin was right in front of my phone. Yeah. And I just stood there. Well, you didn't see it because you walked off. He left me.
Well, it's boring. When Mr. Duncan's filming, what can I do? Just stand around.
Just enjoy the moment.
So, well, yeah, I know, but I just get bored, so I'll wander off.
It's all these years of encouragement.
When someone else is doing something and you're not involved,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't take long to become disinterested.
There's no answer to
or
that.
bored.
There's no answer to that one.
So if Mr. Duncan is filming and it takes a long time, he's got to set things up. It could be 10 minutes, but what am I supposed to do? Just sort of stand around? So I just sort of wander off. I thought something must have happened because I thought Mr. Duncan's a long time. I was sitting on a bench, looking across the Gaskell field at people walking their dogs and letting their dogs poop everywhere. And I thought, where's Mr. Duncan? He's been a long time. I better go and have a look, see if somebody hasn't mugged him or something. They hadn't.
No, they hadn't. Also on Mr. Steve's birthday, well, in fact, on Valentine's Day, we had some lovely chocolates. We actually had some chocolates for Valentine's Day, didn't we? Some lovely chocolates, which we discovered go very well with coffee. And guess what? We also received a lovely e-card and a donation as well. So I'm going to put this on the screen now. So here it is, the card, if I can find it, of course.
An e-card?
An e-card.
What's that? What was that for?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh.
From Dorothy. And Dorothy sent a Valentine's gift
How
as
lovely.
well. Yes, a donation as well. So thank you very much, Dorothy, for your e-card, your Valentine's Day card, and also the lovely donation as well that came through on PayPal. Thank you very much. And don't forget, all of your donations will help this to continue, hopefully forever and ever and ever.
Do I come across as a cold-hearted monster? Says Tomek.
Do you? Oh, I see. Not you.
I was joking. I was joking.
I think sometimes Tomek likes to be mischievous, like a naughty child.
It's just banter, bit of fun, which is what we like. So yeah, no, I don't. I don't know. I don't think that, but it's just a joke, just banter. Inaki says the music seems to have been chosen by the robins themselves.
Yes,
that is very robin music. You are right. I thought the same thing.
It sounds like a good piece of music to have with birds.
Yes,
I think so.
Marcia wants to hear me sing. Well, I will if I can think of something that isn't going to get Mr. Duncan a copyright strike.
Yes. I always think it's
that's
best
the
not.
problem.
It's always best not to sing anything, if in doubt.
If in doubt, yes. So we have done it before, but only when we've sort of passed it all through YouTube's sort of censor to make sure that because what can happen is I can sing something. It's a song that is copyrighted, and then YouTube will pick that up through its very clever artificial intelligence or whatever it uses, and it will put a block against Mr. Duncan's video. Just the same thing as if we swore heavily, it might do the same thing.
Yeah. Whatever you don't say shit.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah. So you've got to be very careful because we don't want Mr. Duncan to have a strike against his name.
No.
Doesn't matter what you put on the live chat.
Actually, you might not realise this, Steve, because I've been on YouTube for over 15 years, and YouTube does actually allow you to swear.
Oh.
Not many people know this, but they only allow you to do it so many times. So if you swear only 2 or 3 times in your video, then they will allow it. But if you swear all the time as you're speaking, then they won't allow it. So they are actually quite good. YouTube sometimes, they like you to have a little bit of swearing in your video to make it more spicy, but not too much, or else YouTube will get angry. And they
See,
will.
I could sing something that's out of copyright,
Yes.
like something from Gilbert and Sullivan, but that might not.
No, I don't think it will encourage the viewers.
No, exactly.
I can imagine everyone clicking away.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Is there any particular subject, Mr. Duncan, that we are going to...
Well, I've already mentioned it. We're talking about mouth idioms.
Mouth idioms.
Phrases, idioms, words, things that you might come across when we are talking about this particular subject. We had a big storm, didn't we? And we're not
On Friday.
We're not talking about today, but we are talking about the big storm that we had, and it was Storm Eunice, battering. And we do have another storm coming. In fact, if you look behind us, Steve, there it is. There is the storm now arriving, and this is Storm Franklin. We will have a look outside. Here's another view for those wanting to see. There it is. So I'm not sure what it looks like out of your window, but that's what we're looking at the moment. It is wet, I think.
Excuse me. Just out of interest, we called it on Friday Storm Eunice.
Yes.
It must have affected other countries in Europe.
It did.
But
Germany was flooded.
Germany, well, anyone from Germany watching, did you call it Storm Eunice or did you call it something else?
Well, as I understand it,
interesting to know.
As I understand it, it is always named by the first country or the first place it hits. So if a storm is coming towards a certain country, they will be the one that names it. So that's what we did. We named it Storm Eunice. And I think as it travelled across Europe, they still called it Storm Eunice.
Interesting.
Yes. So I think it's always where it makes landfall. The first place or the first group of people to actually notice that this storm is on its way or it's forming in the atmosphere. So yes, that's it.
People are commenting that, in fact, I think they'd like us to swear that there are channels where they do a lot of swearing. But yeah, maybe if that's if you're always doing it, maybe you get away with it. But
yes.
If we started doing it now,
I think if you are a millionaire pop star, you can, like Nicki Minaj. Like a lot of her songs have the effing and jeffing, as it were, a lot of swear words.
Yes, well, it looks like you were correct, Mr. Duncan, which is annoying. It was called Storm Eunice in the whole of Europe.
Yeah.
Eunice is a girl's name, is it not?
That's right. Well, they alternate. They're actually alternating between a male name and a female name. So that's why last week it was Dudley for D, and then E was a woman's name, Eunice. And the next one is Franklin, which is a male name.
Yes.
So the one after that will be G. I'm trying to think of a G.
A woman's
name for a girl or woman.
Jemima. Oh no, that's J, isn't it?
No.
Jemima, is that a G? Gillian?
Yes. So I think, that's a good one. So I think the next one will be Storm Gillian, because it will be named after a girl's name. I can't think of any others.
You want a Storm Duncan, but that's past. We can't have one there for...
I'm still waiting for Storm Duncan, and they always miss Duncan out. So that's why last week we had Storm Dudley. I really thought that they were going to use Duncan, Storm Duncan, but they didn't.
Thank you, Laura. Eunice was one of the daughters of the god of the seas.
Oh.
Right, okay. It used to be a popular name here in the UK, but sort of maybe decades ago. I don't know a Eunice. It's probably because somebody's called a Storm Eunice, then people will be probably naming their babies Eunice now. There'll be a lot of Eunices.
I thought you were going to say they were going to name their baby Storm Eunice. What's your name? Oh, my name's Storm.
Storm, yeah, maybe. I think, people will think, well, that's a good name. I'll use that for my newborn child. So I think, in sort of 5 or 10 years' time, there'll be lots of Eunices in school.
Yes.
So, maybe that's what will happen.
Maybe that's what... Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
I wonder if there'll ever be when we get to T, will there be a Storm Tomek, do you think? Maybe if you were the first to suggest it. Or it could be a Storm Lewis.
Yeah.
Or a Storm Marcia.
Yes.
Or a Storm Vittoria. Well, there's a storm brewing between Tomek and Vittoria anyway, after last week. I think there's, still going on. The flames are still burning.
They certainly are.
Yeah, somebody's been to Brazil, they said. Oh, that's interesting,
okay.
yes. I'm always fascinated with what people write on the live chat. Right, very interesting. Shall we swear, Mr. Duncan, and see if we get away with it?
No, I've done it once already, and I think I got away with it. I think I got away with swearing once today. That's it.
You can swear at us.
Well, that happens all the time. I'm used to that.
You can swear at us as many times as you like.
I'm used to that when I walk around the neighbourhood. The neighbours always swear at us.
Yes.
They use very colourful language as we walk by. Anyway, we have a subject to talk about today. We've talked about a lot of things already, including Mr. Steve's birthday. We talked about that. We've talked about the Queen of England, who apparently officially has COVID, but would appear to be not suffering too much from it. So that's good news. I thought it would be interesting to look at some words connected to the mouth. And there is Mr. Steve, literally foaming at the mouth.
What's annoyed me now? Is it the neighbours?
I love that photograph. There's Mr. Steve, and I think he's cleaning his teeth. He doesn't look very pleased. So we have mouth idioms and phrases. I can't stare at that photograph for the next half an hour. I'm going to keep laughing. That really is so funny. I don't know why.
If you foam at the mouth, it's an expression that's used when somebody gets really irate or angry about something and keeps talking and talking, getting more and more angry. You can say to them, "Oh, stop foaming at the mouth." Or that person is getting so angry they're foaming at the mouth.
Yes, to become excited or angry, you can say that person is foaming at the mouth, like Mr. Steve, whilst cleaning his teeth. Anyway, we have some words, some very interesting words. For example, you might tell someone to put your money where your mouth is. We are asking a person to prove something. So they are saying it. They are saying they can do something, or they are saying they are good at something. You might say you must put your money where your mouth is. A good example would be a person who is boasting about their abilities. Oh yes, I'm a very good singer. Yes, I can do that. I'm very good at running. I could do the London Marathon in record time. And someone might say, you will now have to put your money where your mouth is.
Show us that you can do this thing that you're talking about.
Yes.
The mouth being you're talking, probably boasting, saying something. As you say, you might say, oh, I think I could run the London Marathon. And then you might say, well, prove it.
Yes.
Put your money where your mouth is. Prove that what you're saying, that you're going to do it. It could be literally money as well. We're using it figuratively, but you could say, for example, I think that Mr. Duncan is going to get to 1 million subscribers by next week. And you might say, oh, come on then, let's bet on it. Put your money where your mouth is. I bet you £5 it won't happen, or £5 that it will. You could literally use money in that expression, but quite often it's used figuratively, isn't it?
Yes. To prove that you can do the thing that you are saying you can do, you are asking the person to put their money where their mouth is. Here's another one. A person who keeps boasting, or a person who keeps talking loudly. We might say that a person is all mouth and trousers. I think this is a great expression. So a person who's always talking, and they are talking big about themselves. They are also always boasting about their abilities. Very similar to the previous one, in fact. So to be all mouth and trousers means you are always doing this, talking about yourself, or maybe you are boasting and showing off about things, or maybe a person who is always acting aggressively with their mouth and the words that they use. Yes, that man was in the pub the other night I think he wanted to start a fight, but he's all mouth and trousers. He's saying these things, he's opening his mouth and saying these things, but he won't do it. He's all mouth and trousers.
And you can just shorten that to he's all mouth. He's all mouth. In other words, it's somebody who just talks, says they're going to do things, but never actually does it. Somebody might say, oh, yes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And because they've said things before and never done it, you know that they're the sort of person who's just talks the talk, but doesn't walk the walk.
Yes. So a person who is all talk and no action is all mouth and
You're all mouth. It's like you say you're in a pub, you're in a bar somewhere, and somebody is annoying you at the other side. They might be shouting a lot or just behaving in a way that annoys you. So you might be with a group of people and you might say, I'm going to show him that he's Mr. Duncan's choking on water.
Oh, right.
So you might say, I'm going to show him a thing or two. How dare he annoy us and shout like that and ruin the atmosphere. And somebody might say, you're all mouth. You wouldn't dare go over there and say something.
Okay.
So somebody might say, you might pretend that you're butch and macho and that you're going to sort people out. But in fact, would you? Because that would elicit a confrontation and you might not be the sort of person. I would be like that.
Okay, Steve.
I'm just explaining what it means.
Oh, no, that's good.
While I was covering for you.
Well,
I thought
here.
I did a very good job.
I'm back.
Was that the phone? Was that our new phone ringing?
Oh, it's a bird.
Oh, I thought it was our new phone ringing.
Okay, Steve. This is going...
Well, I'm just covering while you were coughing, Mr. Duncan.
To put your foot in your mouth. I think Steve could explain this one.
Yes, that's when you say something, and it could be offensive, or you say something you didn't imagine it might upset somebody, or you forgot what you were saying and it ended up offending somebody.
Yes,
to
say the wrong thing.
Tripped yourself up in some way, revealed something you shouldn't have done. You put your foot in it. I do this a lot. Or you could just say you put your foot in it. The it being your mouth. Put your foot in your mouth, or you put your foot in it. And it just means that you look silly because you said something stupid.
Yes, to say the wrong thing at the wrong moment, and you put your foot in your mouth. One of my favourite ones must be of Mr. Steve's when we had an Easter live stream and I was eating lots of Easter eggs, and Steve said that I'm getting fat, and I said yes, my stomach is getting really big, and then Steve says, I think you're going to have a chocolate baby, and I think that may be taken the wrong way, even though we know what you meant. But people are very sensitive nowadays, very sensitive about these things. Even though Mr. Steve meant it as a joke, you might say that in technically maybe Mr. Steve put his foot in his mouth. I do it all the time as well. I often say the wrong thing at the wrong moment.
Put your foot in it. You normally shorten it to, I've put my foot in it now, haven't I? So you can say something that you might say. You might have a group of people there and you might be saying something about somebody and you don't know that other people don't know this information, and it might upset them.
Yes.
And they might say, I didn't know that. You say, I've put my foot in it now. You might reveal something about somebody in a social situation. Maybe someone's planning to get married and they told you, but they didn't want you to tell anybody else. And then you reveal it accidentally. And then somebody says, what? Who's getting married? What? Rebecca's getting married? I've put my foot in it now. You didn't mean to say it.
Yes.
It's something you didn't mean to do.
That's it. But to put your foot in your mouth means you say the wrong thing. You make a mistake whilst talking. Oh, word of mouth. I like this one. By the way, sorry for the coughing, but it's a bit dry in here. The air is very dry and my throat becomes a little dry. That's why I have my water, you see. It's not vodka. It's definitely water. Word of mouth. The way in which news or something can be passed from one person to another. Maybe some information, maybe something new that you've just found out from another person who told you all about it. You can say that you heard about it through word of mouth.
Yes. So you didn't see it written down, it was just passed on from one person to another. Incidentally, going back to that last phrase, put your foot in it, Vittoria has very correctly said you could say it was a gaffe. A gaffe.
Gaff.
Yes. Something that was said inappropriately that probably could well cause problems. So yes, thanks for that. And Autumn says, put your foot in your keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can write things down from your keyboard that could upset people as well. Could be the wrong thing you've said. So maybe you've created a new expression.
Yes.
Look at that, Mr. Duncan. It's absolutely tipping it down with rain outside.
Well, that's Storm Frederick.
Yes, but yes, it's getting worse. Is the point I was making?
Yes, Storm Frederick. It's.
By the way, talking of weather, you see, we think we've had it bad with weather here in the UK, but with our bad storm. But in fact, in Brazil, they've had these horrendous mudslides, haven't they?
Yeah.
That was on the news. So for Marcia and other people watching, it was horrible to see these very graphic pictures of mudslides in Brazil this week. So we're not the only ones to have bad weather. In fact, we normally get quite mild weather, so that's why it's very unusual for us, even though in real terms it's not causing any real distress to people. I think a few people died, but not many.
Over 100.
What, through Storm Eunice?
No, you're on about Brazil.
I know, but I was saying in the UK.
Oh, I see. In Brazil, there was a large loss of life, unfortunately. Very terrible. But
Yes.
I think 3 people lost their lives here because of Storm Eunice. So some people might say that's a good thing, but not for the 3 people who lost their lives.
Yeah,
So
here's a good one, Laura.
Okay.
It went viral through word of mouth. Can you say that?
Yes, I suppose nowadays we often use the word meme to show something that's been spread through the internet, maybe something that people have found out about. So yes, we might actually use that instead, word of mouth, or maybe through the internet. We often say that something spreads virally. Something goes viral, it spreads, normally through the internet, people passing on the information from one person to another.
Drauk or draught. If someone is talking too much, we call them mouthy
Yes.
or mouthy.
Yes.
Yes.
Always giving it that.
God, they're a bit mouthy. If you're in a restaurant and someone's talking a lot in the next table, you might say, God, listen at them. They're mouthy. It just means somebody who's always talking a lot and can be heard all the time. Annoying. If somebody's mouthy, you're saying that they're annoying. You don't use that phrase in a positive sense. Oh,
No.
you're mouthy. It's a negative sense. You
Yeah.
don't like it. It's annoying.
A person who likes to talk about themselves, or maybe a person who is a little arrogant with the way they speak.
Or just never stops talking. Oh, they're a bit mouthy.
Here's another one, Steve. To mouth off at someone. Yes, if you mouth off at someone, it means you are losing your temper, you are shouting at someone. To mouth off at someone, maybe you are using insults, verbal insults. You are saying bad things to another person. You mouth off at them. So this is being used as a verb. To mouth off is to verbally abuse or shout at someone.
Yes. That is quite a commonly used expression.
It is.
God, he mouthed off to his friend in the restaurant because they were annoying them.
Thank you for your comments about the storm. Yes, Storm Franklin is the new storm that is coming past at the moment, and that's what you can see battering the UK and especially England at this very moment in time. You might leave people open-mouthed.
You're so surprised and shocked by what somebody said, you can't respond verbally. You're so shocked that you just... Somebody says something shocking. They might say something offensive to you, swear at you, call you a horrible name, or it might be some information that they're telling you about that's shocking, and you're just so shocked that you can't say anything.
No. It leaves you stunned, shocked.
Open-mouthed. Yeah, people do that. I might say something horrible to Mr. Duncan. I probably will after this show's finished.
Why?
I'm only joking.
What have I done
now?
now?
Might leave Mr. Duncan open-mouthed. I'm just joking, you see. I'm joking. Or am I? But yes, you know, we often get things said to us on the live stream by certain people whose names we won't mention that leave us open-mouthed with shock.
Yes, you can. You can also say bad things about another person. You can badmouth someone. Badmouth. You are right. That is also a phrase. If you badmouth someone, it means you say bad things about someone.
Now, this is something we're always doing at work.
Yes.
Behind people's backs. If you do something behind someone's back, it means they don't know that you're doing it. And we're always bad-mouthing other people at work. It's a horrible trait. It's a horrible thing to do. But friends, colleagues at work will phone up each other and we'll talk about some other colleague, about some behaviour that they displayed in a Zoom meeting. And we'll go, oh, did you see them? Oh, fancy saying that. You know, what an idiot. They're idiots. Or you might be saying something nasty about somebody, so you're bad-mouthing somebody.
Yes, you might just be criticising them.
Talking behind their back.
Yes. Here's another one, Steve. Moving on.
Yes.
Tongue-in-cheek. Something that is being said as a joke. Something that is being said that isn't meant. It is just something that is being said in a light-hearted way. Something is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. So it's something you're saying. It might sound serious. It might sound like something that is maybe mean or bad, but you're actually using it tongue-in-cheek. You are using it light-heartedly.
Yes, you might suggest to somebody, oh, why don't you... You might see two friends that get on quite well together, or they always seem to be going out together places. You don't think there's any romantic involvement, but you might say, oh, why don't you two get married? Tongue in cheek. You don't really mean it. You're just sort of a bit of a joke, to see what response you might get. And literally, you could put your tongue in your cheek at the same time to indicate that you are joking.
I've never seen anyone do that.
Yes, yes, you do. You sort of, you can do. You can say, "Oh, why don't you two get married?" Tongue in cheek.
Can I just say,
you're you're indicating that you're joking.
I've never seen anyone make a joke and then go.
Not quite so obviously as that. I think people understand what I mean. Tongue in cheek, but that's where the expression comes from. You're sort of, I know I'm joking.
Okay, Steve. I hope it is anyway. I hope it is.
We've had a good suggestion from Jimmy. I mean, you might have this one anyway on your list.
Okay.
I've heard the phrase, don't put words into my mouth.
Yes.
Or don't put words in my mouth.
Yes. Maybe you are repeating something that another person has said, but you change what they've said to make it appear to be something different, or maybe something more offensive. You might say that a person said something that they didn't say at all.
Yes.
You are putting words into that person's mouth.
You paraphrase something that somebody said, or you might say something to somebody, they misinterpret it, or they deliberately repeat back something to you, and it's totally different from what you actually meant. And that quite often comes up when you're offending somebody. Maybe
Yes.
maybe somebody at work suggests that you might say to your boss might come to you, or you might get your boss might come to you and say, yes, can you try and hit your targets this week, please? And you might say, what, are you saying I'm not doing my job properly? And the boss comes back and says, oh, don't put words into my mouth. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, can you get your targets this week, please?
Yes.
So you maybe suggest something more than what they're actually trying to say to you.
Yes.
So you might say, another example could be, Mr. Duncan, you might say but all right, let's move on, because Mr. Duncan, I think, is getting...
No, I'm intrigued to find out what happens next.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well,
I probably can't remember now, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's when you suggest, maybe you come back with, or somebody comes back to you with something, and it's more than what you actually meant.
Yes, or different.
Or different, yes.
You misinterpret what someone has said. You put words into their mouth.
Yes, you might say, oh, that dress looks a bit tight on you. And the person might come back and say, what, are you saying I'm fat? You go, no, I didn't mean that. You're putting words into my mouth. I'm just saying that the dress looks a bit tight on you.
I didn't say fat. I said plump.
You're putting words into my mouth.
Here we go.
So that's a good one. Thanks, Jimmy.
If someone says something that makes you angry, you might have to stop yourself from reacting. So what will you do? You will bite your tongue. Not literally, you don't do it. You don't actually bite your tongue, but you hold back saying what you want to say. Maybe a person is making you angry, like the way I'm making Mr. Steve angry today. I don't know why.
No.
I'm being lovely.
I'm over it now.
I'm like a little kitten. I'm like a little cat curled up on your lap. And now and again, I will stand up and lick your face. Bite your tongue. It means you bite your tongue figuratively. You are holding back. You are stopping yourself from losing your temper.
You're stopping yourself from saying something. You might want to say something. I mean, there are times when I see comments from people on the live chat. I really want to say something, and I have to bite my tongue, because I don't want to upset people. I'm joking. But yes, you might be you might be talking to somebody, and you want to say to them, "Oh, for goodness sake." But you think, no, that would be offensive. It might upset that person. Therefore, you hold back from saying literally what you want to say, just through maybe social etiquette, or because you don't want to upset that person.
Good.
Yeah, so that's...
Yes, you find quite often you have to bite your tongue because you want to say something, but you can't.
Yes, you're stopping yourself because it would offend or could be socially unacceptable to say something
definitely.
At that time.
Definitely.
Yes, that's it. And we often get that in conversations with friends. You see something happening in a room and you want to comment maybe on somebody's appearance. Maybe they're wearing something inappropriate. Maybe they're doing something that you think is inappropriate and you want to say something, but better bite my tongue there because you could get yourself into trouble. It's, you don't say something because you fear the repercussions on yourself.
Okay.
If you were to say that.
That's it. Pretty good. Here we go. It's another one now on the screen. To become tongue-tied. So, of course, your tongue is in your mouth, and that's what we're talking about. Mouth, and I suppose we could talk about other parts of your mouth as well. So to become tongue-tied means you find it difficult to express yourself. You find that you don't have the words that you want to use. You can't think of what to say. Or maybe you just feel so nervous or afraid that you can't speak. You want to say something, but you become tongue-tied or tongue-tied. Your tongue, it's almost as if your tongue has become knotted. It has turned into something that you can't use.
Yes, somebody says to you, "Oh, can you just get up and tell this group of people, something? It might be a public. Somebody might ask you to stand up and say something, suddenly, in front of a group of people, and you're quite nervous about it, and you stand up, and because the nerves affect your speech process, you're so nervous." Your tongue, I can't get my words out. Literally feels like your tongue is not working properly. Tongue tied, it's tied up, and you can't get your words out because of nerves.
Yes. So you become tongue-tied.
Maybe sometimes it's not nerves. I often get tongue-tied on the live stream.
Yes.
But it probably is all down to you're worrying what people will think, because I'm trying to read the live stream and comment at the same time.
Maybe there is a beautiful girl or a beautiful man or a beautiful
Where is that?
person.
Where?
Maybe there is, and you want to ask them out on a date.
Yes.
But you go up to them and you say, "Hi." You become tongue-tied because you can't, you're too nervous. You're afraid to ask that person out on a date. So instead you say nothing because you become tongue-tied.
Edith says, "Can you say big mouth?"
Yes.
Yes.
A person who won't stop talking. A person who talks all the time and won't shut their mouth. We can say that they have a big mouth.
Particularly,
Or they are a big mouth.
particularly if they're talking about themselves a lot. Oh, what a big mouth. Usually is that correct? They're usually showing off about themselves. Is that right?
Yes, a person who boasts, a person who constantly wants to give their opinion about things.
What a big mouth.
What a big mouth.
Always talking about themselves and what they've done and their birthdays and that sort of thing. Not me.
Inaki says, "I often become tongue-tied every time I have to express myself in English." Well, confidence. You build your confidence. You try to do that as much as you can. And then over time, you will become more confident. Confidence is something you have to build over time. It doesn't come quickly. You have to practice. You have to become more confident as time goes by.
That's it. Exactly.
You might tell someone, "Hold your tongue." Hold your tongue. It means you are telling them to be quiet. Stop talking. Hold your tongue. Don't say anything because you might regret it. You might say something that you will regret. So you might say, "Hold your tongue." Stop. Or maybe you start to say something and maybe the other person is getting angry and they say, "No, don't say that." Hold your tongue. Don't say it. That's a great way of expressing that.
If somebody says that to you, that normally means you've really overstepped the mark. You've really said something upsetting and they want you to shut up.
Yes.
Because you've been offensive. People are talking about maybe expressions in their own country. Palmyra says to have a long tongue is somebody who likes to gossip.
Ah.
Now, didn't know about, so thank you for that. A long tongue.
That's a good one.
Somebody who gossips a lot, who talks about other people and other people's lives and maybe, makes things up a bit.
Of all the negative characteristics of a person, I think gossiping, talking about other people without them realising it, is one of the worst characteristics of a person who likes to go around and they talk about other people, quite often in a way to stir up problems,
disparage
or trouble. They say things negatively about other people. So yes, that's a good one. We will come to something very similar to that in a few moments, actually.
Tomek says that he became tongue-tied when he was about to give a presentation to large group of people.
Hmm.
That's true, yes, you can, but particularly if you haven't rehearsed it beforehand. There's nothing worse than having to spontaneously talk on something. I hate that. See, I don't mind if I'm in a play or in a musical where you've rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed.
Hmm.
But when it's spontaneous, I'm always in great admiration of people who can just stand up and talk off the cuff, as we say, without any notes about a subject.
Yes, I'm quite good at that.
Yes, well, you do that all the time on your live stream. I suppose I've got better at it since coming on the live streams with
Yes.
Mr. Duncan. I used to be very bad at spontaneously talking, forming sentences in my head, because I always like to rehearse lines. That's what I'm used to. See, somebody at work said to me, a boss at work, quite a high-up manager who came to see me in Scrooge, I think it was, and said, how do you do that? How do you learn all those lines and do it? And I said to him, because I've seen him perform many times in conferences without any notes at all, and I say to him, how do you just spontaneously stand up and just talk, for 10 minutes, 30 minutes on areas of business? I would, that to me is very difficult. So yes, becoming tongue-tied, anyway, right, hold your tongue, Mr. Duncan. I've got something to say.
Okay, Steve. I do appreciate it when Mr. Steve shouts right into my ear. By the way, I am with you on Wednesday. Don't forget there is another live stream. So we're here today, but also I will be with you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time. For those wondering, yes, there is a live stream on Wednesday, and I will be back on my own. So there will be no Mr. Steve on Wednesday.
Ooh, good one from Christina.
Okay.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes, you hear something from the person who is directly associated or involved with that particular thing. Straight from the horse's mouth. Reliable information. So the person who gave you the information is reliable. It came straight from the horse's mouth.
Let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth. The person that has that information, and not second hand that they've passed it on to somebody else. Let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Hello, Iqbal Hussain. Nice to see you here today. And we have one more, Steve.
Yes.
One more. And as I mentioned earlier about gossiping, people who gossip, to get, or maybe you set tongues wagging. The tongues or tongues are wagging. It means people are gossiping. They are talking about you. Neighbours, especially neighbours, nosy neighbours, maybe the neighbours are always watching through their window or through their curtains. They are watching what you are doing, and then they go and tell other people about what you were actually doing. We've got one neighbour who's very, very gossipy.
You might do something. For example,
Ooh.
Your neighbours might see something very interesting, because we all like to look at what our neighbours are doing, don't we? So say, for example, we saw, or our neighbours saw somebody coming to visit us.
Visit us?
Visit us.
I think they would
in
be
a car.
surprised.
Maybe a couple of attractive men came in a car and came to visit us and came inside. And the neighbours
Really?
saw that.
Did they?
They might think, "Ooh, what's going on there?" Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve, they never get people visiting them.
Oh.
What's going on?
Oh.
What's going on? Are they doing things they shouldn't be doing?
We are so private.
And then they talk to other neighbours, or we might see a similar thing. Somebody living on their own. Somebody might arrive. You've never seen this person visit them before. Ooh, what's going on there?
Ooh.
Are they having relations? It sets tongues wagging. It means people are talking, gossiping about what could be going on at the neighbour's house.
I like it when the neighbours around here have new furniture. I like it when a big white van arrives at someone's house, and I will spend ages standing at the window waiting to see what it is they're having delivered. Normally a piece of new furniture, or I normally get excited when it's something electrical, like a big TV or something. So I do like watching my neighbours around here getting deliveries to their house, especially when it's furniture
Somebody has a new car,
or something big.
an expensive new car. Oh, look at that. Oh, how can they afford that?
Ooh.
I don't know. People get sets tongues wagging. People
Yeah.
start talking.
People start gossiping.
Here's one from Amit. How about the cat has got your tongue?
Yes, that's a good one.
Yes.
It means something that you don't want to say or you don't want to talk about. Maybe you go silent. And the other person might ask, oh, what's wrong with you? Has the cat got your tongue?
Yes.
What's wrong with you? Why won't you answer the question?
Yes.
Why won't you give me a reply? Why have you gone silent? Has the cat got your tongue? Good one. I like that one. Well done. There's lots of good suggestions.
Yes, thank you very much.
Lots of good suggestions today. Very nice. We will be going in a few moments, but don't forget, on Wednesday I am back with you, and I suppose it's worth mentioning that we are coming towards the end of February. It is February, the last few days of February, and I suppose a lot of people are wondering what is going to happen in March. March is always my favourite month, one of my favourite months at the start of the year. I will be honest, I don't like January. I don't like February because normally the weather is bad, as we've proved today.
Yes, February is normally, because January in the UK, January and February are very sort of cold, dark, miserable months when it comes to weather. But because Christmas has just happened, you don't mind January so much because it's a new year. But then when it starts going into February and the weather's still dark and dreary, you start to get a bit down, a bit depressed. February, I think, is the worst month of the year, apart from, of course, it's my birthday. I suppose that brightens up February, doesn't it? My birthday to everybody.
A little bit.
But usually, yeah.
But back to what I was saying. March is coming, and yes,
That's what I was about to say.
Always the best month. And I might be doing something different in March. Something a little different. That's all I'm saying for now.
Ooh.
The plans are in my head, and that's the only place they are at the moment.
You better bite your tongue, or you might tell everybody and ruin the surprise.
I will have to be careful not to let the cat out of the bag.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, well, of course, it's Monday morning tomorrow. Monday morning, work. Tomek's already mentioned, he's deleted it, but I haven't forgotten.
Poor Mr. Steve.
That we all have to go back to work tomorrow. Please wrap it up, says Tomek. I want to go and cook my food.
Oh, I see.
We are about to, yes. I'm definitely going. But yes, unfortunately, we've got to go to work tomorrow and to bring home the bacon, to earn money, to keep paying for our mortgages and saving up for Ford Mustangs, that sort of thing.
Yes.
And keeping Mr. Duncan in the equipment that he needs to carry on doing the live stream.
As I've already said, Steve, you might be able to get a cheap second-hand Porsche with some slight fire damage. Maybe the seats are melted.
Yes.
Every time you get into the car, you stick to the seats because they've all melted. But yes, you might be able to get a cheap fire-damaged Porsche or Bentley. Who knows? We are about to go. It's almost time to say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream and also the dramatic images behind us. A huge storm came through whilst we were doing our live stream.
Ooh. We'll be gossiping about Vittoria and Tomek.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
yes.
wasn't sure where you were.
Bye-bye, dear Tomek.
Oh.
Wow. I've been looking at the live stream, you see. Tomek's a bit of a sports fan, and I've noticed that Victoria is as well. So they have things in common. This will set tongues wagging
Yes.
on the live stream.
Especially yours, it would appear.
We're joking, of course,
How
but
much?
it's an example of that expression.
Yeah. But wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? And now I know lots of friendships have been created because of our live stream, and there are lots of people around the world who are now friends because of us. Where there, Steve? I'm trying to do something. But yes, wouldn't it be lovely if two people met through our live stream who then fell in love?
Victoria's married.
Yeah, we said that, didn't we? I think we said that last week, didn't we?
Yes. Bye-bye, love.
For what?
I'm upset now. He's never said that to me.
Who said that?
Tomek said it to Victoria. Bye-bye,
I'm-
love.
I'm really getting confused with your romantic connections on the live chat, because I thought it was Pedro.
Yes, but there's always been a thing. Anyway, it's just laughter. A bit of fun.
Is it?
A bit of fun. Yes.
Maybe for you.
Well, bye-bye, everyone. I'm going to go now because this could prolong the live stream for longer.
Much longer.
And people are planning for us to go at 4 o'clock UK time so that they can do things.
Oh, I see.
Well, they're cooking food, spending time with family, that sort of thing.
Huh?
So lovely to be here again, and lovely to interact with you all and to get our tongues wagging about English.
Yes.
And I'll see you in the living room with a cup of tea
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
in about 5 or 10 minutes' time.
Yes, I'm not going to wait very long for that. I'm looking forward to my cup of tea.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Have a lovely week and enjoy learning some English if that's what you plan to do. And it'd be lovely to see you all here again next week.
I don't think Steve wants to go. Are you okay, Steve? Do you want to go?
Pardon?
Do you want to go?
What? Is it over? Have I got to go, Mr. Duncan?
I don't think Steve wants to go.
Bye.
Well, that was strange. It's time to say goodbye. Thank you, Mr. Steve. Thank you also to you, the viewer. Thank you very much for putting up with all of this today. I hope it's been interesting. Mr. Steve is so funny. There is never an unhappy moment when Mr. Steve is around. There is always something going on. Thank you very much for your company today. I'm going to leave you with the little robin once again. I think we will have a look at the robin that we saw yesterday with its friend. Oh, very nice. See you on Wednesday. I will be back with you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time, and I hope you can join me then with another English Addict. And all I have to say now is enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you on Wednesday. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.